Today I'm going to be looking at the Xvive U2 Wireless System, and I want to talk through why you may or may not want to incorporate a wireless system into your guitar rig. So I'm going to cover the details of how this works exactly, and then I want to put it through two tests. I want to put it through the tone test and the distance test. But before we get into that, why go wireless? What's wrong with the traditional 1/4 inch cable? I've personally always been a plug right in kind of a guy. I've never really used any wireless systems like this before. And there can be some drawbacks. I mean, you are pretty locked in place if you are plugging into your pedal board. I know for me, sometimes when I'm an MD on a Sunday and I need to walk around to some of the other instrumentalists in the band, it can be kind of a pain to have to unplug, go walk across the stage, run back, plug back in. We would also typically run our Ableton tracks on a computer further away from me, so it is nice going wireless to be able to run over and fix some of the tracks and then run back to my station. But as far as potential downsides with going wireless, I know for me, I always sort of just had this idea that maybe going wireless would introduce some latency, or it just wouldn't quite track as accurately as if I was plugged in. So that is something we're going to test here in a minute. But as far as how this works exactly, it's super simple. It comes with these two guys, one of which is a receiver, which you would plug into your pedal board or plug into an amp if you're going direct. And the other is a transmitter. So you plug this into your guitar, you flip them both on, and you're all set. Now, I know for me, one of the worries that I had with this was on a Sunday morning when there's so many wireless frequencies, the microphones, the in-ear monitors, I was worried that there may be some interference or some dropout. But the nice thing with these is that there's actually 4 channels that you can switch between. So you can basically swap between the channels, make sure that they're linked up together. And then once they're linked, you're all set. They also have a 5-hour battery life, which is really nice. And it comes with a USB charging cable, so you can charge them right up, and then you're all set for a Sunday morning. But what I'm really interested in trying out is just right in front of my pedal board, I want to do a tone test. I want to see if there's any difference in tone or in latency when I am playing with the wireless system compared to playing just with a standard 1/4 inch cable plugged in. So let's hear what that sounds like. So as far as tone and latency goes, I don't notice any difference at all between the wireless and the wired connection. Granted, I am right in front of my pedal board, so I would hope there wouldn't be any issues. But really, I'll be about this distance away from my pedal board for the majority of my time playing. So I'm impressed. There's really no discernible difference for me so far. But what I really want to test is if it remains this solid once you start introducing some distance. It does say that it has a range of up to 70 feet. So let's take this up to the church and put it through the distance test. So I wanted to start by just wandering around the stage. I'm basically acting as if I'm an MD and I'm walking over to another musician on the stage. We also turned on all of the microphones and wireless packs and lights and anything that we could imagine might interfere with the wireless signal. And while I was on stage, I didn't notice any dropout, any latency at all. It really acted exactly as it should have. I did want to see just how far I could push it though. So in this clip, I have the receiver still plugged into my pedal board, and I'm going to walk all the way to the front of house wall to see how far I can go before it starts cutting out or before I really start to notice any latency at all.
maybe a little bit of latency now. So we're just now starting to get some latency.
So like you saw in the clip, I needed to get a pretty far distance to start to notice any latency at all. And just 1 or 2 times once I got that far away, I did notice that the signal cut out for just a second. But really that's a pretty extreme example. You're not regularly going to be running to the front of house board and playing from there. But really for just regular use, I'm really impressed. Again, my biggest concerns going into this was going to be the latency and then if there was any interference with any of the other wireless equipment, but we didn't have any issues with them, and I was really able to wander the stage fully without any problems at all. So if you're in the market for a wireless system like this one, I'll have the Xvive link down in the description. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that, but again, I'm genuinely impressed, so feel free, go check them out. And if you're curious at all about the tones that you heard in this video, I'm gonna link this video right here walking through my full pedalboard build. So feel free to check that out, and I will see you in the next one.